Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of Down the Stretch, the Solano Stallions podcast. My name is Carter Scott, and I'm joined here today by two very special guests, the GM of the Solano Stallions, Jonathan Smith, and the owner himself, Mr. Andre Chilton, joining me today. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Great. Excited about being here.
They were the driving force behind starting this podcast to kind of get more information out to the community. If you guys want to take it away and talk about things people can expect in future episodes of this podcast.
Yeah, so the overall it's going to be a pretty fun thing. You know, we decided to call it Down the Stretch because it's going to be covering the Stallions with, you know, the horse kind of connection there. But overall, it's going to be a platform to cover our players. It's another way for our players to be able to talk about themselves, talk about their backgrounds, some of their interests, their playing experiences, and where they're trying to get, as well as talking about anything that they have that they're working on outside of projects. We hope to have several different interviews over the course of the season between players, staff, people within the industry, people within the community, and also possibly spotlighting some of the different businesses that are around our Solano County. So it's really going to be useful as a platform for us to be able to advertise everything Solano Stallions related, and also giving a platform for some of the community businesses that are here in the area. In addition to that, we're also going to take some time to cover some of the wider world of sports, from NBA to NFL to baseball. That way we're kind of doing a little bit of a mix between Solano Stallions and the wider world of sports that, you know, everybody really is following and wants to talk about.
Yeah, and we're really excited to get it going here. I know this is episode 1, but we hope you listening decide to stick around. We're hoping to do this about once a week and kind of get more people into the Solano Stallions and kind of build this program up and build this community up together. All right, so let's get into the show. Let's take a look at the NBA Finals coming up. At time of recording, they are tomorrow. We've got the Miami Heat and the Los Angeles Lakers. Should be a good one. No one really expected the Heat, to get in here. Everyone kind of expected LeBron to lead his team to a finals here. First off, do you guys think the bubble was a success? Do you think the NBA did a good job kind of working around the coronavirus restrictions?
Overall, I think that it worked out well. I mean, it satisfied the need to be able to get them back on the court to finish out the season, get through the playoffs. They got through it with 0 COVID tests, if I remember correctly. So I think all in all, it was a success. I know that there was a lot of question marks going into it. I know even personally, like, I was wondering whether or not it would work or if they should go back. But I think overall it was a success. They're finishing the season. They haven't had any shutdowns. You know, a couple of hiccups along the way with, you know, Hot Wing Lou and Daniel House. But outside of that, I think overall it worked. It served its purpose.
I agree. What I was found fascinating is the fact that they actually was able to pull it off, you know, kind of seamlessly, besides those issues that John spoke of. But what I really was impressed with, the fact that it's kind of everyone's on an even plane. There is no home court advantage. There's nothing but straight up basketball in there. And either you came to put in work and it worked, or it didn't, or whatever. And that's what I like. I like to see that even playing field.
I absolutely I agree. I absolutely loved. If nothing else, we got some killer memes out of it. I love every time someone got caught in the bubble bringing someone in. There was memes about the snitch line. You had memes about LeBron texting Adam Silver like, "Yo, I just seen some dude in this bringing some chick over here." I love the snitch line. I think it's the greatest invention of all time, and I think they should just keep it forever, even though they're not in the bubble. I think it just needs to stay.
I'll tell you, being a former military person, you know, I retired military 22 years, and I've done a lot of desert. So I was kind of aggravated when they were making it seem like they had it so hard in Disney World, living in suites or whatever. You know, I've lived on flight lines and ate MREs for months at a time. So That kind of got me thinking a little bit. But besides that, I was excited to see it, and I was pretty much happy.
Yeah, I'm with Carter on that. I thought that just like all the memes were hilarious. Like when I first heard about the snitch hotline, I mean, I gotta say, like the first person I thought about was D'Angelo Russell, and like how much access is he getting to this line and everything? Like that's gonna be a running joke forever. But yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
Oh man, NBA snitch line. We'll remember you forever. Next up, Miami Heat. Andre Iguodala somehow, some way, not even on the Warriors anymore. Somehow, some way, found his way back to the NBA Finals. A 6th straight Finals appearance. How important to the Heat do you guys think he will be for this series?
I think he'll be pretty important from the standpoint of, I think between him and UD, he's probably like the only guy on that squad that has championship experience, along with the coach. So I think that it's going to be pretty helpful. And then from a basketball standpoint, just having another body to throw at LeBron, and nobody is going to stop LeBron, but in terms of just having different looks to throw at him, make him difficult, I think Iggy with his length, the fact that he's played LeBron so many times, I think it definitely helps in terms of knowing tendencies. And just from that standpoint, I think he'll, I think his presence will be felt there. It'll be interesting to see how much he plays, because, I mean, overall, I think that Miami is probably going to do best if they can really have their shooters rolling with Harrow and Duncan. But if it does fall for Iguodala, hopefully he's able to, pick it up for them and make a difference on the defensive end.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. I just like the fact not only that his name is Andre, but the fact that there's a lot of grit or whatever. And I've always been a fan of Andre since the 76ers and, his move. I've always followed him. So he's a gritty player. He's a worker. So I think he'll have an impact just like he did the other.
It is kind of funny thinking back just a few months ago, those young Grizzlies players were throwing shade at him for forcing it out. And now here he is back in the finals again.
Yeah.
NBA.
Yeah.
NBA is the one. I swear, the NBA is the only league where you get this kind of drama. It's ridiculous. I love it.
No question.
And then we got, from one end to the other, we've got LeBron James in his 10th NBA Finals, trying to get his 4th title. I mean, we already know he's probably going to have the most impact on either side. Is there anything that solid game plan-wise that you think that he can do to slow him down?
I think I would just stop LeBron is, man, you got to get up on him early. Don't let him get that full head of steam, because it's at that point, it's too late. A lot of guys don't want to pick up full court or pick him up early, and they let him get going. Once that 270 starts going downhill, that's hard to stop.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Stop him before he picks up steam, because once he goes downhill, getting to the rack, it's all the difference. So I would say between that, like I mentioned before, the different looks, and then also, I mean, his jump shot has improved. But I mean, overall, if I'm defending or coming up with a plan, I still would much rather see him shoot and take long jump shots versus getting into the paint and setting up his teammates. I'd rather live with him hitting jump shots. I'll take my chances with that anytime before him dunking, getting the layup, or seeing help defense and dishing out. Just those are a couple of things you can do. You're not going to stop him.
I can also see him attacking the rim more, especially after the Lakers started. They filed that formal petition or whatever it was with the refs saying they weren't getting enough calls, and now all of a sudden you see LeBron starting to get a little more calls, and the Lakers themselves got more calls against the Nuggets. I can see him starting to attack the rim more and looking for fouls also.
Yeah, he's always going to be looking for fouls and everything like that. The question is going to be is, how much he capitalizes on it from the free throw line. Because he'll get to the line, but you gotta capitalize on it after you get there. But it's the NBA Finals. It's LeBron. I don't really think he'll have any issues getting calls, getting to the line.
Yeah,
I think you're gonna have to cut LeBron down on a couple of his great plays, and you cut everybody else down too. LeBron's gonna do his thing, but if you stop those other guys from getting off, and stopping him from setting up plays, then I mean, there's a really good chance. You know, I actually hope the Heat win myself.
I kind of hope the Heat win too. I like. I don't know. I guess being from the Bay, you're kind of raised to not root for any LA teams, and I think the Heat are just kind of fun. This underdog team. It's easy to root for the underdog, you know, and it's kind of also easy to root against LeBron. I don't know if everyone feels that way, but I don't know. For me personally, it's funny to kind of watch him build up after a loss.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Personally, I'm kind of
he was resting. That rest helped him out after that injury and that delay. So he came back extremely strong, whatever. But I don't have anything really against LeBron except maybe some of his antics or whatever. But I'm an MJ fan, so I don't want him to get too many, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm along those same lines. I don't want him to catch Kobe, especially not in LA. But you know, aside from that, I mean, just watching the playoffs, it's hard to not root for Miami at this point. You know, like they've really been playing some good ball from the bubble to the playoffs and everything. And then you got Tyler Hero out there playing. They just got guys that are fun to watch. So I mean, yeah, it would definitely be fun to see that. That would be a big story just on the simple fact that, you know, LeBron left Miami because he didn't think he could, you know, win there anymore, especially with at the time Dwayne Wade going down. So now you're in LA, your first time back in the finals, you know, since coming to LA is going right back against your old squad.
Yeah, I mean, it's always gonna be funny watching that big like press conference they did, like not even a press conference, it's like an arena full of fans, and he said not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. Oh, Jesus, LeBron, what were you thinking, buddy? Okay, now players that are kind of going to fly under the radar. There's already a few that have been mentioned, but who should we be watching to make a big impact in the series besides, you know, LeBron, AD, Butler, all these guys?
I'd be interested to see if Hero still shoots that way. You know, he's been putting the ball he's been putting them up and been putting it in the basket very well. I'd be interested to see if he continues to shoot that well. Of course, Iguodala, I'd like to see what his impact is, you know. And as far as with the Lakers, you know, I'm Kuzma. I haven't seen him do a lot, and they picked up Green, you know, and it was till recently I actually ever saw him make a basket in the Lakers uniform. I don't watch Lakers that often, but you know, most of the time I'm working, so I look for some of those guys. LeBron can set you up to do some great things, you know, just do your job. So it's going to be a good series.
Yeah. For me on the Miami side, I'm interested in seeing what Jay Crowder does, because I'm pretty sure he'll probably be the main defender on LeBron. So his ability to stay out of foul trouble, stay on the floor, you know, kind of act as an irritant is going to help. Hero and Duncan Robinson being able to continue to knock down shots from the outside is pretty much what's going to be the difference, because if they don't get going, I don't think Miami has enough scoring to keep pace. So, like, they're definitely going to need that. From the Lakers standpoint, you know, I was talking to someone the other day. I forgot Kuzma was even playing. Like, he's been, like, non-existent. I've actually been a Kuzma fan, but I just feel like I kind of forgot he was even playing at all.
Yeah.
You know, so that'll be interesting. And then KCP, who, you know, he's usually the guy that people usually laugh about, but, you know, he's actually been hitting some big shots throughout the playoffs. So it's crazy to say it, but I think he'll probably end up being a factor too, because he hits shots at times that, like, it just swings the momentum.
Yeah, I agree with that. I meant to say Caldwell Pope myself, because, yeah, I did used to laugh at him a lot. But
yeah.
I'm actually happy for JaVale too. You know.
Yeah.
Dwight Howard being, you know, I actually got to was in a little bit associate with JaVale McGee's sister. I almost got to meet him. You know, she's a WNBA player, and got to do some workouts. As I'm a skills trainer, and got to do some workouts with Dwight Howard. So I'm glad to see them guys doing well also.
Yeah, we love to see. Well, I love to see like the old heads that are kind of making one more run at it. You love to see them always succeed, right?
Right.
So we've
Yeah,
got
no
all right.
question.
So now predictions. We got a finals winner. How many games and who's gonna be finals MVP?
So I'll say I'm predicting that the Lakers win in 6 and LeBron goes MVP.
Yeah, I'll say Lakers in 5, but you know, I still want to win.
Yeah, as much as I'd love the Heat to win, I do think I think KD or not KD, sorry, AD and LeBron are just gonna be too much for the Heat. They don't really have that kind of big name player that you can kind of put on your back. It's gonna have to be a combination effort from all of them, and I think the Lakers are just gonna be too much. So I'll say Lakers in 5, and I do think LeBron's gonna win that Finals MVP that everyone loves to hold so high in esteem for some reason.
Well, I mean, again, like I said, the Lakers are throwing some feet at you. I mean, you got 2 7-foot, you got AD. I mean, they're playing some solid defense, and they throwing a lot of big boys at you. You know what I mean? So I don't see the Heat having that. Nothing that can really withstand that.
Yeah,
They don't.
Yeah, I think the Lakers are just going to be too much for them. As much as I'd love to see them like pull off this underdog story and kind of take the Lakers to 7 and hit that clutch shot, I just think it'll be too much. All right, let's go ahead and move on now. Let's shift more of a focus to you guys in the Solano Stallions. We've got the GM and the owner of the Solano Stallions with us, so we're going to go ahead and ask you guys a few questions, kind of get your insight and a behind the scenes of what it's like working with a franchise in the ABA. Tell me a little bit about each of your backgrounds and how you ended up owning and getting involved with the Stallions.
Okay, well, I am the owner, Andre Chilton. I got involved with it because I actually own a skills training facility, and a lot of guys that I worked out were looking for opportunities to play. So I did some research and contact the president of the ABA, and found out what it would take for me to get and own one. And then after research, I ended up talking with John. After we talked about it for a few months, and then we just sat down and said it's something that we could do. And then we just went at it. Owning one is a great opportunity. It's fun. Being a trainer and also having guys that train with you and then watching them excel on the court is awesome. It's an awesome feeling to see the things that you do actually help people. And we really want to actually give somebody, my vision is to be able to help some player from here get overseas or get somewhere else to play at the next level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, my background is more so like in, coaching and training. Been doing that for like the last 10 years or so. Went to school, got master's in sports management. Wanted to, for periods of time, I felt like I either wanted to coach or work from a managerial standpoint in the NBA. I spent some time in 2015 kind of working with the NBA, doing scouting and analytics for their summer league, which was pretty cool, just to try to get that experience and had some good experiences meeting with some of the executives and coaches there. Like some of the guys that stood out for me, like Quinn Snyder, Jerry West, and just kind of picking their brains. And, in addition to that, working with Dre, doing training at No Time to Chill and doing coaching with some of our teams. And like you said, he came with the idea of the ABA team after speaking with the director. And like, to me, I thought it was a pretty good idea, especially after learning about it and then learning that it'll be, here in the, Solano County area. I think it's a good experience. So, I mean, like for me, being from here, being from Vallejo, being able to get some opportunities for guys around here to be able to keep playing the game, get some experience, and possibly be able to further their careers after coming through our program, to me is kind of a no-brainer. Being from here, I know a lot of time that, after you finish going to school here, if you didn't go to Solano College after that, it was pretty much a wrap for you in terms of your career. So for me, it's an experience standpoint for myself in terms of learning, but then also creating chances for other guys that are coming through here to be able to help create opportunities for them is huge.
Yeah, so you mentioned that the Skills Academy kind of connects to the Stallions. Can you talk a little bit more about the Skills Academy and what you guys kind of aim to provide there, and how much it kind of means to both of you to be able to help so many guys advance their careers?
Well, for the Skills Academy, that was the initial vision, and I kind of blew it on the background. With my background, I played in service, 22 years of the military service. I played in college and all up and down all the levels of the Air Force, and I also got a couple of little stints doing my overseas living to play on some club teams. So from there, I got the experience of playing with some of the overseas teams. So as I've been through my career, I've always either played or coached the game. And I've been doing the skills training for years on now. So I started out with actually how I met John was doing workouts in Bethel. I started out in America doing that. I was overseas doing it in Germany, Japan, all overseas doing it, but that was my military. So when I got back to the States, I met one of my friends connected me with Paul Davis, who's the head coach at Bethel High School. So I went from Bethel to after that, that's actually how I met John. We just developed a friendship from there. And then after I left that high school, the next year I moved up to the college, which was, resume building. So I got the overseas, the playing, and now I got high school and college. And what stopped me from coaching at the college was building the facility. So I've been eyeing this facility for, like a year. My last year at the military, I was eyeing a building. And, I always had the vision of building my own gym because that's a big problem around here, gym time. So I got tired of asking. I got tired of being turned down. So I basically built that gym, and that's my pride and joy right there. I built it a lot for my son, even though he doesn't play anymore. But that's, in a nutshell, how No Time to Chill came.
And how long ago was that?
I've been open 4 years now. So in 4 years, the initial, I started training, I did a lot of travel training, working, getting the opportunity to work with the Dwight Howard, Jordan Clarkson, Bradley Beal. I got a couple of guys now that have some G League tryouts. But, I went around working with the best trainers to see if I actually had what it takes. And it was like I was doing the same thing that they're doing, it just with local talent.
It's awesome. I mean, it sounds like it's something that obviously you're passionate about and everyone there is passionate about. And that's kind of the main thing that drives it, is the passion of basketball and advancing your career and getting better, basically, is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. That's definitely overall vision. Is like both Dre and I think part of the reason like we hit it off is just like the overall kind of passion for the game, teaching it, and just overall having fun. It's kind of gotten to the point where we'll be at practice and we'll see something funny and we just got to look at each other because we know exactly what the other is thinking and trying not to crack up laughing. So that's really just all it's about. Because, I mean, both of us have done all ages from elementary to middle to high school to college that, it's just all about loving the game.
Right. We have we have the pro team and we have our boys program, and we're trying to get girls, which is the prime. So, we really just move along with that age groups, but it's fun. The fun part is watching players develop. I think me and John get more excited when some of our younger players that couldn't use their left hand are shooting left hand layups,
Yeah,
all the time now. We get excited over the silliest stuff, but that's the growth that we like to see in our younger players and our older guys that we work with.
So how important and how impactful do you think something like this is in the community when you run an operation like this?
It's huge because of the fact that, first of all, the majority of our athletes and guys coming through the program are of this community. So with them being of this community, it's important that like the actual people they're following, their families, fans that have watched them grow up around here, are supporting them. The more support that you're getting from your community, the more interest and following that you have, the more we're going to be able to build and continue to make this something that works for this. The fact that this is the first team here in the area means that in order for it to work, everybody has to kind of chip in, and we want everybody to kind of really, really just support it from a community standpoint so we can grow and make it that much better. And, it's kind of both sides of it. The athletes are from here, staff's from here, and, this is kind of the community's team.
Yeah, I mean, he said it all right there, man. I know I was being a military dependent. I was born on Travis, which is in the Fairfield area.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been around the world, and my last place was here. So I actually consider myself from Georgia, but I got a lot of family here. And this is being the community that the team is. A lot of our players are from here, and I'm kin to a lot of them. There's a lot of guys from school around here. So we try to pick or give most of our opportunities to players that are local. And I think that's the great thing about it. The Solano Stallions are a community organization.
That's awesome. I mean, that's what I think all sports teams should boil down to is it should be team and community kind of building something together. So for the community out there, when does the season tip off, and what should fans be looking out for once it gets underway?
So right now we're scheduled to start January 2nd. We're having a division-wide kind of first tournament where all the teams are going to come together and have games throughout the weekend. Right now with the whole COVID situation, I would say that, really, really looking for links to be able to watch us online, support us online. I think it's going to be hard for like fans to actually be able to come and watch live, but stay tuned for our schedule so you know how to catch us online with some of the streams. Coach Andre actually has a Fire Stick app where all of our games will be, so our fans can keep watch for that, download the app, and be able to follow us through that.
Yeah, yes. So it's a .com and Fire TV, so you can watch it on nt2csportstv.com. If you just have it, just via the internet, or if you have a Fire Stick, you can have the app and watch the games online. And we have them streaming Facebook Live and on our TV channel.
That's great. We'll make sure we'll have those all linked in the description and all over the Solano Stallions social channels. Thank you guys so much for hopping on and joining me here, owner Andre Chilton and GM Jonathan Smith of Solano Stallions. Thank you guys so much, and hopefully we can talk again soon.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. What a great interview from Andre Chilton and Jonathan Smith of the Solano Stallions. Gave some great insight there. Thank you all so much for joining us on this very first episode of Down the Stretch, the Solano Stallions podcast. Hopefully you decide to join us again next time. And if you do, we'll see you then.